You're welcome back once again. And in the previous tutorial video, we created a folder, and then we have a server setup. We'll have a typo here on the naming, so I'll just go ahead and change it. It's not bold, but the right thing is Node.js basic server. So I'll drag the server once again, the folder once again, and open it right here on my code editor. So in the last tutorial, we just have our dependencies being installed. We started the project, and that was basically all we were able to do to pull through. So in this part of this section, we will be configuring our database and then having our model set up as well. So go to the config folder, and within the config folder, we can have a database .js file where we'll have our database setup there. Now we want to use ORM Sequelize to work with our database. So the first thing we need to do, we need to get the package Sequelize. So we want to get Sequelize, we want to get that from our dependencies we should install, and the way we do that in JavaScript import, we use require then the name of the package, which is Sequelize. Okay, so we'll have the package installed. Then just go ahead and set up our database. We can call it Sequelize again if you want to call it any name you want to give it. This is equal new, create an instance of that of Sequelize, and within this is accepting an object where we can put in the dialect we want to work with, and the dialect, that's the kind of database we want to work with this time around. And that is if you're working with any of the IDE, you get some kind of IntelliSense. So this ORM can accept, you can see here it works with Oracle, MySQL, and every one of them you can see it right there, Postgres and all of that. So just like I said on the slide, just go ahead and select the database you want to work with. And if you want to change from Sequelize maybe to MySQL or to Oracle or to Postgres, you just come here and change the dialect and you have it. And then we need to also give it tell it what storage storage, that is the name of the address on where our database is, and the name of the database, I mean. So for in our case, we want to use the database, let me just give it the name testdb .sqli. And so, and this will always we're using the ORM. So whenever we use some kind of functionality of the ORM. Take for instance, if we want to create, if we use the .create, or if we want to use the .find, this will be printing the logs of the raw SQL queries on the background. So if we don't want to see that, then we can just add the instruction logging. We can put it to false. So if we don't want to see the SQL query of what is happening under the hood, and then we can just go ahead and export this file setup module.export. If you're on the JavaScript export, you use module.export equal this file we created here. So let me just copy that, not to make any typo. So we have our database set up at this moment. The next thing we need to do is just to go ahead and set up our model, or we can call it our entity. And for us to do that, we need to import this and then work with that. So let's go to our model folder, and then we'll create a file there. We can call it, since it's an entity, we can call it user.js. So that's what we want to call the file. And the first thing we need to do, we need to get the Sequelize which we exported. So we'll call it Sequelize equal require, and then we want to get that from config, and we want to get the database set up there. So this will give us the our configuration file setup, and then we also need a data type from the Sequelize package which we installed, and that is data types. this capital T. Want to get that from Sequelize. So now if you can spot the difference between these two imports I'm doing here, one is having like a kind of path from where we're getting it from, and then this one is not having the kind of path, the dot and the slashes. This is to tell you that this first one here is actually some internal import we're trying to do here, and then this is an external package which we did not create on ourselves. So I think is very important. You kind of put the external file at the top of your import. That will make it much more better for you to easily understand, and everybody can work with that. So then let's go ahead and create the model on how we want our user table to be like. So we can call it user. This is equal. Then we have the Sequelize setup which we have there. We have Sequelize.define. So we want to define our schema. Now the first thing we need to put in here within this Sequelize define method, we need to put in the name we want to give to our table. We want to call it user as well. That's what we want to give our table, and then we can go ahead and define the structure of the rows within the column rather which we have within our table variable. So we have a name, and then how we want the name to look like. We want the name to have the data type. We want it to be of string. This should have a key of type, not just data type. So we want the data type to be of string, and if you want to give some kind of other more instruction or warning, maybe like you don't want it to be null, you can add there to, you can add this allow null of false there. So whenever the user is trying to create a name, then you can force the user to put in the name. And then so we're not going to be needing so many things just for this demo sake, so I'll just add in two more field which is for email and password. So let me just duplicate that and have it there. Data type, we want email to also be string, and you can make your email unique. You can make it you can validate it to be as just an email as well. So we're not going to be showing that now, but if you want to see that, you can try to explore that on your own, or you can drop a comment on the chat. You can drop a comment on the comment section there if you want us to discuss extensively on that as well. So this is how basically we want our table to look like, nothing more complex. Then we can then finally export this user table which we created here, and then the name is user, just like we have it here, and that is also what we want to call our table. Okay, so our table is completely set up now, and we can now link this to our server and then start putting in item from there. We can start getting item from there, and I'll give it a pause here, and just stick around. In the next tutorial we'll start making requests into our table and getting item from there, and also pushing some record into our database. So see you in the next video tutorial.